2010 to 2011, Doane College was on the search for someone to replace President Jonathan Brand. At the end of the 2011 spring semester, Doane College selected Jacque Carter to become the 12th president in school history. Fast forwarding to now, President Carter has almost finished his first year in office and is ready to pioneer the future of Doane College. Your host, Richard Creeger, will ask for the president's thoughts and ideas as Doane College moves into a new age. Doane Media presents Jacque Carter, A New Frontier.
Doane College is a unique small community that produces well-rounded education and experience for their students. In order to grow and continue the service Doane offers, President Carter says Doane will eventually need to increase enrollment to add more faculty and scholarships, which would also add to Doane's diversity and produce stronger academics. Coming into Doane, how did you know what changes should be implemented?
You know, the first year for any president should be a year of listening to some extent. Because you don't want to move too quick on bold actions before you have built a consensus around it, and also had the opportunity to hear what's already in place in terms of aspirations and dreams where people want to go. So I would say what we did for the beginning of the year in the fall was to restart the strategic planning process and engage the faculty and the staff and the students and the board of trustees in looking at our college as it stands today, and then trying to envision where we would want to be in 10 years. And so coming out of that this year, at the board meeting that's coming up in just a few weeks, we will be voting in support of the work that has been ongoing this whole year to identify what our strategic goals will be, you know, how we see ourselves in a decade. So one of the things that it's not really implemented as such as liberated is our vision, and our vision is to be, you know, recognized nationally for our academic excellence and our student engagement. And then we have to put underneath the actions of what do we do to make meaning of that. And I think that in itself was a major shift in thinking and in direction from where we were before I arrived, because we're now thinking of how we'll need to support that dream in terms of our resources that we currently have and how to bring new resources here. Some other things that I feel I've implemented was to brought to the college a sense of and heightened importance of the relationship of the community that we're embedded in here in Crete. That the Crete community and Doane College are joined at the hip, and so if one rises, the other rises with it, and if one falls, the other one is going to fall with it. And I don't know that was well understood as much, and so now, you know, we're seeking opportunities to engage with the community to help the community improve economically and culturally. And at the same time, you know, they're looking to Doane to do the same in terms of our programs up here. A good example is the athletic programs that have been enhanced with new facilities that are in partnership with the town. So those are some of the things I've implemented, and I like to get out and about, and so I've tried to change and bring a different direction maybe to the way that the administrative office connects with students and with the campus community. And so I've made an effort to get out and about and be in places where people are.
It comes from my nature in part. I like to get out and about, talk to people directly, and not necessarily have information brought to me if I can get it myself. And I felt that the way we were organized at the college, in terms of my office as president, created a lot of not barriers, but filters between me and the students. And so I just to cut through all of that, I just thought I would just give my time available to students where they're at, whether it's in the campus center or in the resident hall or like here. And that way I can have a normal conversation about what life is like for students here at Doane. And the questions I ask are typically, tell me a couple things about Doane that, if you were me, that you would work to make sure never really changed because they are so valuable. And what are 2 things that you might want to change if you were president for a day, you know, that would make the place, in your view, better in different ways. And so that begins, you know, engages people in conversation. And what I found is that that kind of conversation is harder to have when you're in an office and you're surrounded by the formalities of it. It's just easier to do when you meet people where they live. And I have learned that just through life, you know, it's just the way to talk to people. And you get a lot more information that way. And even though I haven't been overwhelmed with students who are at the forums, the students who do show up have been from very different experiences, you know, walks of life, so to speak, here in terms of their programs and majors. And that has been very helpful. And other students have commented, even though they can't make it for whatever reason, that they're glad that I am making that effort to do that. So it's been very helpful.
So did you garner responses both in person and through email?
I get feedback from students in a variety of ways. I meet officially, you know, with Laura and other members of STUCO, and in that capacity. Students will schedule meetings with me in my office just to talk to me. The OWL, as I said, you know, Aaron, we should just make an office for me right down in the Gaylord Hall, because I'm a frequent member of the conversation, you know, which is great. I like that. And then these forums have helped as well. I tried to learn more about the Greeks and the fraternity sororities and what they're about and the things that they do. And the only way to do that is by getting out among them, among the student activities and groups and things of that nature.
So you, have you been able to get to a bunch of activities? Have you been able to go out and see what goes on campus and, and be able to participate in all of it?
Yeah, I'm often invited to formal events, but then I stop in when I can for student presentations, whether it's in a research presentation in the science building, or if the education department is doing something that has to do with a workshop in their area. Like today, we're going to dedicate the groundbreaking and beginning of construction for our outdoor education classroom over on the other side of campus here. The fraternities and sororities invited me to Rush this year, so I got to experience. I'm the only male, I think, that's ever signed the logbook for the Omegas, you know. So I'm a bit of history now at Doane, and that, you know, that it helped me going through Rush to understand, you know, what that's about, because I never I was never in a fraternity myself. So you know, doing those things, I go to a lot of athletic events. I'm at a lot of football games, volleyball games, you know, tennis, you name it. I try to get there to go.
Definitely.
It's more fun, you know, than sitting in the office.
I've tried to encourage a greater conversation within the college about what your life is like as a student here, as a faculty member here, as a staff member. To bring a greater openness and total engagement and transparency to what we're doing here. To assist in that, I established a college council this year, which is a new structure that has membership from not only the cabinet, but includes staff and representatives of different parts of the college that before were not really able to meet directly with the president in the way that they're doing now. And you know, there are other things as well. I guess you could say my dog is new to the campus, and he has had an impact as well.
When we return, President Carter will let us know about Jacque, his dog.
Odds of becoming an astronaut, 1 in 13,200,000. Odds of being struck by lightning, 1 in 576,000. Odds of dating a supermodel, 1 in 88,000. Odds of bowling a perfect game, 1 in 11,500. Odds of being trapped in an elevator, 1 in 24,528. Odds of catching a ball at a major league game, 1 in 563. Odds of an injury from shaving, 1 in 6,585. Odds of tripping while texting, 1 in 10. Odds of getting cancer in your lifetime, 1 in 2 men, 1 in 3 women.
It's up to us.
To change the odds for our generation.
For the ones we love.
For our future.
If you don't like the odds, stand up. Stand up to cancer.
Looking for these? You drive buzzed. It could be one very expensive ride.
First, you gotta make bail. Then pay me to get your car back.
Your insurance premiums will go through the roof.
And my legal fees just keep adding up. All told, it could end up costing you $10,000.
Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because buzz driving is drunk driving.
You didn't give up on sex. Don't give up on birth control either. There are more methods than you think. Find yours at bedsider.org.